There's nothing dangerous in the envelope. It was only the girl's friends playing a prank on her birthday.
911 in progress.
We have a homicide at Eddie's Burgers. Man wearing a night costume and carrying a huge sword entered the cafe, placed an order, and sat silently in the corner for a couple hours. Everyone had stopped paying attention at this point, but then he stood up, took out a sword, and began swinging it around with all his strength. He's already inflicted severe injuries on several patrons of the restaurant. I don't have enough cops for that. Yeah, I figured as much.
Forecasting complete.
Theft at the farm. Bill Buckler said his neighbor Derek Ruers asked him to watch his farm while he went on vacation with his family. Meanwhile, some strange people went over there with a tractor trying to steal the harvest. There's about a dozen people and they're robbing my friend blind.
210 in progress.
Disorderly conduct at the Everyday Mall. There's a huge clown running around the mall. Tried to scare me to death, said unemployed John Heckensmith. I got a disease. Got a note from my doctor. That clown got no right to scare me. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Not only that, we were just at that mall. Seeing the police, the suspects began to argue and shout in an unknown language, and then two women managed to escape and hide somewhere on the farm. Carefully search the whole area.
911.
Clown was hired to promote the children's amusement park and has every right to be in the mall. We have assault at Christopher G. Sands Ice Arena. While the legendary singer Gennaro Crespo was giving a performance, someone threw a large ear of corn at the musician and smashed his head. Despite a bit of blood, Mr. Crespo showed no concern, just laughed it off and got ready to continue. Nevertheless, the concert organizers were furious and demanded that everyone turn on the cameras. We can't let the audience leave until the offender has been detained. They shouted into the police line. We've got a large crowd here, so send everyone you have available so we can get this done. If this looks like any remotely bad in any way, I'm fucking just leaving. These fucking big crowd things are completely fucking asinine. Got 3 new frames. So I'm missing the vehicle then at this point. Because we know she has a doll from the first one. We know that they were caught drinking, sitting on a bench. Just this vehicle. There we go. Judith McCain, this hard drinking grandmother, decided no court has the right to take away her granddaughter. Trailer park. Why am I not surprised? Oh, send Percy. I don't want to send this FNG. Thank God. I'm still mad about Millsap and McDonald dying, but the rest of the day turned out to be somewhat okay, so I can't be too mad, I guess. Day 93, October 15th, Tuesday. Doctor, euthanasia should be personal choice. Priest notes prostitution increase. Okay then. Soap actor Manuel Torreblanca announced completion of film career. I'm surprised nobody here has, you know, any excuses or anything.
Progress.
2 for shift B. Thinking I need like 12 per shift, maybe. Get that increased. Mass riot at the foundry. Several dozen workers have gone on strike over layoffs and wage cuts. For a while, they were expecting someone from the company to negotiate with them, but this never happened. The protesters have armed themselves with improvised weapons and have started to break down the fence. I don't feel comfortable sending just 2 squads, but that's what I sent. Shift A people are working this attempted carjacking case. That's right. Get a drink while we sit here.
611 in progress.
Rape in the toilet. Inside a booth in the ladies' public toilet, a woman was overheard holding a man against his will and attempting to blackmail him into having sex. Crystal Harrington only vaguely made out part of their conversation and immediately ran to find a phone to call the police. That could be nothing, but I'll send a patrol out. Thank God. Thankfully, Shift A is pretty well rounded, so I'm not too concerned. I just have to be careful and make correct choices, obviously. False alarm, the booth was occupied by a couple who were spicing up their relationship with role-playing games and sex in public places. Atticus Corp. Mr. Boyd, I have the misfortune of having a family. My only daughter is marrying a complete idiot. She's requiring that the wedding take place on the roof of my skyscraper and as soon as possible. But I want to protect my daughter from making the biggest mistake of her life, so I've organized a grand wedding and reception. I ask you that you arrest the groom at the altar or on some monstrous charges, like child pornography, for example. Better for my daughter to survive the horrible moment of shame in front of 100 people than live in the shame of every day for the rest of her life. What we got? We have something going down today at port at 1754. So 654. No, 554. 18, 19, yeah. 554. We want a policeman crashing the party. $1,500. Port 554. Robbery at the boutique. 2 women tried to quietly pocket some expensive jewelry at the boutique, but the guard saw everything, stopped them, and demanded that they turn out their pockets. One of the women then pulled a gun from her purse and began to threaten the store's employees. That's insane.
710A in progress.
Thank you. Hostage situation at registry office. Security guard reports that an armed man wearing a frock coat burst into the registry office. He was dragging a young girl in a white dress behind him and demanded that the staff immediately arrange their marriage. So deal with that swiftly.
1210 in progress. got a
The
situation.
man grips the girl's arm tightly and aims his shotgun at a registry officer employee. She says, "I now pronounce your husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Sneak up behind the groom and stun him with a nightstick. He has a weapon. I don't know if that's okay.
710.
That was scary. I didn't know what was happening for a second there. Yeah, I will send you Darnell. Suspicious individual in Blitz Cafe. A waitress says that a suspicious-looking man is in a rumpled jacket has been sitting at a table for several hours. He didn't order anything. I brought him coffee and he just sat there staring at me. I'm afraid he's going to watch me until my shift is over, and then the girl stammered. It's scary to imagine. The port. So I gotta ignore the port one. We have a mass riot at Christopher G. Sands Ice Arena. Without explanation, Karen Sparkle's manager canceled the Freeburg stop on the incredibly popular Singers Tour. She was originally scheduled to perform in town next month, and incensed fans have gathered at the ice arena where the concert was to be held, demanding to speak with Karen immediately. Senior guard Trevor Hernandez sent his men to calm down the crowd, but the guards were severely beaten and the crowd has begun to break open doors and windows. I don't know about this.
From 1210 complete.
False alarm. The man in question was fired from his job today. He was just trying to collect his thoughts and figure out how to get by.
1510 in progress. 1110 complete.
Thank you. Not gonna lie, I'm always nervous about these mass riots. Illegal business activities. Live Good Mini Market parking lot. Martin Coker, owner of a local grocery store, said that two older women with big gym bags are hanging around the parking lot, selling cigarettes to passers-by. I can barely make ends meet as it is, and these hucksters are chasing away all my customers. Terrorism at the Freeburg Central Railway Station. Two bearded men came to the train station, began to pray, and then went to different corners of the depot and took off their jackets, which report that they were both wearing suicide vests. One of the attackers detonated his vest, but the second man's vest didn't work, and he fled in panic into the back rooms of the station. Paddy wagon on row? Yeah, okay. Three new frames. Okay, we know she got out. Perch was snatched. Hey, Tanner Scott, high school senior. That was easy. Where is he gonna be? Freeburg High School. Attend school diligently. Probably there. Or Soaps and Sparkles Car Wash. Tanner Scott works at the car wash and spends all his time around cars. Check the high school. Fortunately, you won't have SWAT presence, but should still be able to pick the man up.
I was trying to raise 10-1, Sergeant.
Send some reinforcements. If only it was a second later. Could have sent those two as well. Fuck. So who's my lead detective on that? Oh, shit.
1011D complete.
Explosives. Probably Yesel. I need you to work B shift, please. We need to make that arrest. Day 94, October 16th, Wednesday. Minesweeper. Most calls are false alarms. Yeah, that's true. Grandmaster Alan Byrne plays 20 simultaneous games in park. Beach to boast new Neptune statue. Spain, you've earned that. Congratulations. Funeral for Charleston. Let's go pick this guy up. I don't think I'll need the SWAT for this. Investigations. I don't know if I want to look into that. Put Iron as the lead for that. Let me take a look at this. I know we had like very briefly got like what was going on with this, but then I had to take them off the case. Bomb threat at the office building. A bearded man wearing a hood rode a bike to the office building, looked around nervously, and walked into the foyer. He quietly placed a black bag behind a pillar and then disappeared. The guard tried to chase the bearded man down the street, but lost him on the crowded street. Send 2 squads. Good shit. Assault with a deadly weapon at the business center. The reinsurance group of Freeburg reports that several armed men have stormed into their offices and started attacking their employees. One of the men pulled out a gun and told a young employee that he'd kill her unless she returned all his money immediately. Another employee called the police and says the attackers are drunk and can barely stand on their feet. Yes, they are. Damn it, but that's not the point. They're crazy enough to kill someone. The building's lobby is empty and there's a black bag near one column. Completely evacuate the building. Inside the package, some mechanism spins up and the package starts humming and vibrating. Sure that everyone's at a safe distance. We have a report on the radio that the suspect was spotted in the crowd outside the building. He was smiling, watching the scene. He's holding something like a remote control. Take the suspect from behind, threaten him with a pistol, and take the remote control. It was an explosive too. That's scary. Absolutely terrifying.
1210 in progress.
Got a suspicious individual at the kindergarten. A cleaning lady called to complain about a suspicious man wandering around near the fence. This weirdo spent the last half hour rubbing against the fence, staring at the children. Better come and arrest him. Alright. We have a missing persons case in the suburb. Judith Morrow reported to the police that her husband Eric has disappeared. She had returned home early from a business trip, hoping to surprise him, but the house had been turned upside down and Eric was nowhere to be found. No one at work has seen him for the past 5 days.
1210 complete.
False alarm, the man was very drunk and was merely holding onto the fence to keep him from falling. Unlawful assembly at the bakery. A group of drunken workers gathered at the factory entrance to protest cuts in the shift hours and other privileges. Management at the bread baking plant has ignored their concerns and are calling in the police to disperse this other disgruntled employees. Alright. Judith Morrow, the wife. We were late with the mortgage payment a couple weeks ago, but Eric got a big bonus and everything was settled. But my husband was very nervous about the money, worried that someone from work would try to rob us. They work with a lot of ex-convicts. Ashton Morrow, the brother, says Eric had serious money problems. 3 weeks ago he asked to borrow some money, but I'm barely making ends meet myself. Eric began to cry and said that he'd have to deal with some bad people. Royce Wheeler, a colleague. A couple of weeks ago, Eric had an argument with his superiors. He was clearly not himself, trying to borrow money and cursing up a storm. Gabrielle Oliveras, secretary at Eric's company, said I recently overheard one of Eric's telephone conversations, but I could only make out a few pieces. The next meeting with the twins will be my last. That'll be a nice night. I thought he was talking about prostitutes again. The contents of Eric's office trash can. Receipt from Eddie's Burgers, a brochure entitled Multiply Your Capital in 5 Easy Steps, number of documents, an empty envelope stamped eviction notice, and an advertisement from the sex industry. Legal arms sales in the ghetto. Mrs. Wright reports that the basement of an abandoned house has become a black market for unregistered weapons. There's no machine guns, but plenty of handguns, and they'll sell them to young boys. Yes, I mean children. Raid that place then. Shooting at the city center, and I need a lot more than what I have. Send some additional reinforcements out that way. I don't think I want to do this unless I have SWAT, so it probably won't get done. Robbery at the Everyday Mall. Supermarket cashier saw a young black man in a hood grab an old lady's shopping bags and run away. Non-automatic weapons. Attempted murder. Some frames in the missing persons case. Really doesn't help me at all yet. False alarm. It turns out the old woman knew the young man from the neighborhood. He's a medical student who lives nearby, and he was just helping the woman load her groceries into the car. I clicked on that, but okay.
Who's there? Show yourself or I'll start popping off.
Mr. Boyd, it's me, Mr. Fry.
I don't know any Mr. Fry, and if I did, I wouldn't want him coming around in the middle of the night.
Mr. Boyd, I'm a private detective. I was looking for your wife, Laura.
Right, my wife, Laura. I'm looking for my wife, Laura. Laura Markham Boyd. Right.
You want to throw on a robe, Mr. Boyd?
I'm not cold. So, Laura, what have you learned?
I know where she lives, who she's with. I know what her plans are. To tell the truth, I learned even more than I expected, but I can't tell you anything.
I'll keep a hold of this thing just in case. So, what were you saying?
I said I can't share this information with you, Mr. Boyd. You see, Laura... Well, let's say... Your beloved Laura is with a very wealthy man. I consider myself a good investigator, but he figured out pretty quick that I was onto him. We talked, all three of us, me, him, Laura, and, well, we agreed that I'd stop bothering them, and in return, I'm getting a very good position in the company he owns, Mr. Oh, I almost gave the name away.
You do realize I could shoot you right here.
Well, that would hardly be fair, Mr. Boyd. I might not have come here, you know. But I decided to come clean with you, look you in the eye. I don't want you blaming Emma. She really wanted to help you. Plus, Mr. Boyd, I like you. You're a good chief of police, and I feel bad for you. So I talked to Laura, and she'll call you when she's ready. You just need to wait a little longer, and, well, I'm not taking a penny from you for my services.
Get out. Leave the beer.
But I already drank half of it.
Don't worry, I'm not squeamish. Hey, Fry, take off your shoes.
I'm sorry?
Take off your shoes. Leave them at the door and get out.
But why?
Because when I asked you to leave the beer, it seemed like you didn't really mind. And I want you to mind.
Fucking hilarious.
And the socks.
Bro, he's taking the socks too. Oh my god. I love this man.
Fine. Good night.
Dude's a menace. Day 95, October 17th, Thursday. Alright, well, that's it for me. We're at time here, so I'm going to end it. And when we come back, we'll continue with day 95. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and say comment down below, subscribe, share. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.